Hello everyone, now I am here with my next video of input in Java. Basically, when we are trying to create a program, then this is our starting of Java programming. Previously, what we are discussing is just an introduction for you all about data types, about the approaches what the Java follow, and I told you about few things, that is data type, operators, history of Java, and few introduction of Java with object-oriented programming, with procedure-oriented programming, compiler, interpreters, how we are going to write, and the basic structure of Java program. All these things I had already covered. And now we are going to follow all these things in our programming only. And now you have to focus how we are going to create programs in Java. Firstly, what we are doing is assignment, and then we have to focus on function argument. After that, we have to focus on command line argument, and then input statement, and then scanner. First of all, what is input? Basically, we are entering some data, that is raw facts and figures, as input in our system. After processing of data, we are getting some output, that is information for us. And when we are creating programs, the first thing what you have to notice, that your starting of programming is from here only, and few keywords what we are using in our program, whatever thing we are using commonly, I'm going to provide you right now. Already I had already discussed about all these things previously also. Now again I want to provide you the details of these things. First one is public. We are going to use public every time. That's why I want to tell you about public first of all. Basically, it is a keyword which is an access specifier which allow us to visit a particular class, to access a particular class, function and a variable, which shows us that we are accessing all these things publicly. Means no restriction is there on any class or function or variable. No restriction should be there. We can access in any of the way. By default, everything is public. If you want to create something else, then you are free to create. And this keyword doesn't have any specific place, you have to remember that. And then what about class? Class is also a keyword which stores data and function together inside a particular class. And static is a keyword which is also doesn't have any specific place. We can place it in front of a variable, we can place it in front of a function. If you are placing it in front of a function, that function is known as static function. If you are placing it in front of a variable, that variable is known as a static variable. In class 10th, we are going to discuss about static variables also. But now our main function is always static. Why? Somehow it is necessary to create static, because static is a function which allow that function to run automatically. Whatever and wherever you are placing static have a specific rule. Whenever you are placing it in front of function, that function runs automatically. Means you are not supposed to create any object to run this function. Just you have to remember this. And then void. Void is also a keyword which is placed in front of a main function. You have seen that, but we can place void with any of the function, and void shows us that this function never return us anything. I had already provided you description of void when I had already created one video on that, where I'm telling you about how we are going to create functions in BlueJ. In that brief description of void I'd already provided you. And then new is a keyword which provide dynamic memory to an object or an array. Dynamic memory means runtime. During runtime, when the program is running, that time if we want memory for an object or an array, we can provide it with the help of new keyword. And then few class, object and functions which we are using it commonly. That's why I am going to tell you about that. First of all, string. We are going to use string so many places. That's why remember that it is a predefined wrapper class. Predefined, you know that, already defined. Wrapper class we are going to discuss in other videos. And what you have to remember that string is present inside java.lang package, because every predefined class present inside a package. A class which is used commonly, all that type of classes plays inside java.lang. And this is very common class, that's why it is placed inside java.lang. And basically it stores a set of character within double quotes. That's why I'd written example string s is equals to double quotes name. Always remember, whenever we are using string, we have to provide it in double quotes. And then we are using system class. Where we are using? When we are writing system.out.println, system is a class. It is also a predefined class. We are using it commonly. That's why it is placed inside java.lang package. And system class is basically created to deal with input and output devices. And sometimes we are calling input and output devices console word we are using for that sometimes. And we are using out. Out is a predefined object of a system class which help us to deal with output device, that is monitor. And then we are having print and println functions. Both are present inside system class, and we can access print and println function with the help of out object. That's why we are writing system.out.print system.out.println. Dot allow us to visit inside a particular class, inside a particular object, and to touch a particular function. Print basically used to display output in a terminal window, and println is used for same purpose, to display output in a terminal window. But println, after doing its job, change its place and come in next line. That's why a cursor move to next line. We are going to use all these classes, objects and functions in our program commonly. And then see few comments we are having in our Java. Comments basically are non-executable statement, means compiler never run comments. Then a question arises, why we are using it? If compiler never runs it, comments have no special use for computer, then why we are using it? Because if we are writing comment the person who is not able to understand our program, that person can read a comment and able to understand what we are going to create in our program, what we are doing as a logic in our program. Through comments, we can explain our program in an easy way. It is basically we are using comment to explain what we are doing in our program. We are having 3 types of comment. One is single line, another one is multi-line, and another one is documenting comment. Single line, when we want to explain our logic in a single line only. Multi-line, when we want to describe our logic in more than one line. And documenting comment, when we want to introduce ourselves, when we want to share our experience, when we want to share our qualification with our users, then we can use documenting comment. Basically, documenting comment is always on top of our program. Multi-line and single line we can place anywhere, but always remember we have to place it with the logic part only. And then C. Our programming starts from here. Assignment. Basically, why we are using assignment? When the programmer want to provide some value directly to a program, then we can use assignment. See, I had taken one example for simple interest only, and simple interest I had explained in different logics. With the help of different techniques, I am using it. Only one example with different techniques. You all know about simple interest. How we are going to find it out? That's why I'd taken this example so that you are familiar with it and you are able to understand it more easier way. See, in this program, what I'd written first thing, that is comment, single line comment. See, in single line comment, what I'd written, program to find simple interest by assignment. Now, after reading this line, you can able to understand. Basically, I am going to create a program of simple interest, and I am going to use technique that is assignment here. You know the basic format of writing a program, that is, we have to write first of all public class in class name. I told you earlier about all these things. And then what we have to write? Inside a class, we have to create a function, that is main function. And why we are writing public static void main string args square bracket open close, I told you earlier in my previous videos. And then inside main function, we are writing a logic. Always remember, inside main function, we have to write a logic part. Whatever you want to write, you can write here only. The white part is your logic part. See, here I am telling you about assignment. When we want to provide our value directly to a variable, that's why I written int p equals to 5000, r equals to 5, t equals to 2, semicolon. All 3 variables are of same type, that is integer, and I had already given the values. This technique is known as assignment, when we know what we have to provide as input. And then what is the output? We don't know. That's why I'd written float si is equals to 0.0 if it is initialization. What it is? Initialization. When we don't know what value we are getting as output, inside that variable we are providing some value so that garbage value never affects our variable. Garbage value, what is garbage value? Already some value is present inside our computer, in our memory. Sometime same variable is used by another person. that variable contains some value, and that value affects our program. That's why that value is not useful for us. That value is garbage value for us. That's why we don't want that garbage value. That's why we had given one value as initialization. The value is 0.0f. Why we are using f as suffix? Because we want to show compiler that 0.0 belongs to a floating point value, that is float. And after that, what I had written the formula of simple int is p into r into t upon 100. You all are familiar with that. And remember, p, r, t and 100, all four things are integer. That's why now in front of us we are having a pure expression. All are integer, that's why we are getting integer value only. But in SI, what I want, value should be in floating point. That's why I converted that expression. I want a floating point value. That's why in comment I had written explicit conversion. I'm forcing a computer to convert integer value into floating point value. That's why in SI, what I'm getting, a floating point value. After that, the system.out.println shows us output, that is simple int is equals to any value. And now I'm going to tell you how it looks like when we are running our program. We have to visit where we had written that portion. We have to visit, that is input, and we have to click on it, right click on it. Then we have to click on void main. After that, we are getting a dialog box. We have to press OK, and after pressing OK, one terminal window opens. In that terminal window, we are getting output. Means input we had already provided in our program, and output we are getting in terminal window. What you have to remember in assignment, user never allowed to input inside it. What we are providing input directly. Means who is providing input? Programmer. That's why in assignment, user and programmer both are different persons. If I am creating a program, then I am a programmer. Some other person want to see my program and want to run my program, that person is user. In assignment, user, another person, never able to insert any value as input. In assignment, only programmer provides value as input. And whenever we are going to run this program, we are getting the same output. If you want different output, then you have to change value of P, R and T inside a program again and again. And then you have to run your program in the same manner. Means the programmer is changing a value, input values, and then getting an output. But if some other person want to run program, then we have to accept a value from user. Then we have next technique, that is function argument. When programmer want to accept value from user by using function, then that is function argument. When in place of string args square bracket are written input values. See, previously I'd used string args and I had written all the values here. But now different case occurs. Now what occurs? See. Now in this case, in place of string args, I had written int p, int r, int t, and from here I had removed all these lines and placed in top. See, and the manner of running a program is changed. See what I am doing previously. I am putting all variables in function bracket in main function. I am accepting values from main function. Just remember, when we are placing anything inside a function bracket, that is argument. Now, how many arguments we are having? 3. Int p, first argument, int r, second argument, int t, third argument. Every argument have its own data type. Remember that. That's why I've written int p, int r, int t. Different data types we have to place. Each and every argument have its own data type. Any number of arguments we can take here. Just remember that. This allows us to accept different values of p, r and t. And then in this program the same logic is placed. Simple interest we are finding, and then we are displaying simple interest. But the way of running a program is now changed. See, the same way we have to go to a program. The box appears, input, right click on it, then we are getting void main, int p, int r, int t. After clicking on it, because we are having 3 arguments, that's why we are having 3 boxes also. See what happened. 3 arguments, 3 boxes. Int p, int r, int t. If you are having 4 arguments, then you are having 4 boxes. Just remember that. With the help of these boxes, we can insert any values here. And then we have to press OK. After pressing OK, we are getting an output. Just remember that. And in function argument, allow us to insert. Function argument allow us to insert different inputs and to get different output. This function argument allow us to accept variety of inputs, and we can able to see variety of outputs also. Previously in assignment, only one value and one output. Now we can change input values during runtime, and we can get any of the values after running our program. Then see, now we are having command line argument. See, previously what we are doing, we are accepting value from main function, and now in command line argument we are accepting values again from main function, but in different style. See, but 9th class, this is not in your course, this is in class 10th, but still I am telling you, just focus on two things first of all, that is assignment and function argument. And then leave command line argument. If you want, you can understand. If you don't want, leave it for class 10th. Basically, command line argument also focus on functions. String args. What we are writing? String args. String args is single dimensional array. Single dimensional array, I told you already, it accepts a similar type of values. See, I want three things as input, that is P, R and T. And now args0 provides us value of P, args1 provides us value of R, and args2 provides us value of T. And integer.parseInt is a function which converts a string value into a integer value, that is P. args0 is a string value and integer.parseInt converts that string value into an integer value. Just remember that. Class 10th basically know all these things, but class 9 didn't know. Command line argument provides us different kinds of value, and then after getting these values, we are placing same way. See, we are placing our values and finding out simple interest, and see the same way we have to run our program. Then what we have to do, again in input we have to click on void main, and then after clicking on void main, what we are getting, a dialog box. In dialog box, just remember, when we provide a value of an array always written in curly braces. That's why we are having curly braces here. Remember that. Curly braces, the first value. And one more thing you have to remember, string. String always written in double quotes. That's why 5000 in double quotes, 5 in double quotes and 2 in double quotes. You have to remember that. And everything is present inside curly braces. After that, press on OK. And after OK, you are getting an answer, that is 500. And then one more thing I want to tell you. See, command line argument allow us to provide different inputs for getting different outputs, the same as function argument. But in input statement, one thing you have to remember, that previously what we are doing, we are just first thing what we are doing, that is assignment. In that assignment, we are having a value provided by a programmer, and the same value we are using for a program, and for the same value we are getting an output. In function argument, we are accepting value from user, and then we are applying it in our program, and after that we are getting some value as output. Same as in command line argument, we are accepting some values from user, and then we are applying it in our program, and then we are getting some value as output. Now in input statement, what happens? Basically, everything what we are getting as output is present in terminal window. Input statement always provides us value in terminal window only, but input statement allow us to accept value in terminal window also. Previously we are not accepting value in terminal window. Previously we are accepting value in dialog box. See, this is dialog box. Previously we are accepting values in dialog box. See the demo. This one is dialog box. And one more thing I want to tell you. See, in this again we are using dialog box. These are dialog box. But see, in input statement we can input directly in terminal window and we are getting output on terminal window only. Input statement allow us these things. See, and now I want to tell you about input statement. Input statement allow user to provide input values in terminal window. I told you, and I had already given you the sample also. And then what you have to remember about it? Input statement, whenever you want to use, it is present in java.io package. For using it, you have to write line, that is import java.io.asterisk semicolon. Import is a keyword which include a package in our program, and asterisk is used to include all classes present inside java.io package in our program. For input statement, so many things I want to tell you, but not in this video. I'm going to create another video for that. I just want to continue this series and I want to complete this series so that you can able to understand inside input in Java whatever things we are having. That's why in short way I want to tell you about input statement and the another things also in short way. But input statement is the biggest thing. I want to create a video for that also. So if you are not getting it completely, let it be. I'm going to explain it in a deeper way. But see, first of all, in this way it looks like. I'm going to explain each and everything in another video. Don't think I'm not going to do, but I'm going to do that. Just see, it looked like in this way. We are going to accept our values, then we have to convert it, then we have to place it. Just keep it in mind, you have to do all these things in future. That's why I'm telling you. I'm just trying to create an outer sketch in your mind that what you have to do in future. Just see it and just leave it for a few minutes. I'm moving further. How we are going to run it? We had already created one program and then we have to run it. The same way we have to run input, right click, void main, string args. After that we are getting a dialog box. We have to press OK and then we are getting a terminal window. In that terminal window, now we have to provide input, enter principal, that is 5000, enter rate, that is 5, enter time, that is 2, and we are getting same time we are getting a output also, simple interest is 500. This technique allow us to accept input in terminal window and to display output in terminal window. Same time everything happens, not in different places. Input, output in same place. Then see our next technique. For this technique I'd already provide one video for scammers class. If you want to see, you can go through it. But for input statement I'm going to create one video for that. Basically I want to tell you this one is an advanced approach because in input statement few lengthy statements we are having for conversion. Input statement have some lengthier statements. For reducing that lengthier statement, now what we are having is scanner. Scanner is an approach which provide us a short statement where data type conversion is not needed. Scanner allow user to provide input values in terminal window the same way what input statement is doing. Input in terminal window and output in terminal window, same thing, but you have to remember package is different. Scanner class is an advanced approach, that's why it is in java.util package. Whenever you want to include it, you have to write import java.util.hashtag. Or if you just want to include one class from that package, you have to write import java.util.scanner. Semicolon. Asterisk is basically used to include all classes of util, but now what we want is scanner. That's why we had written scanner only. Then we are having next thing, that is import keyword. Import keyword basically used to include package in our program. Asterisk is basically used to include all classes in our program. Then see how scanner look like. Previously we are having lengthier statements and now we are having a short statement. See, that's why we are having scanner. Only int in dot next int is sufficient for storing integer. Previously we are writing a lengthier statement. In the same way, we can run our program, no changes. We have to click on input, right click on input, and then we are getting void main. We have to click on void main, then we are getting a dialog box. We have to press OK, and then what we are getting, inputs and outputs in the same window. If you want to see scanner more, then go through the scanner videos I had already uploaded. And then moving further, a small review what we had already done right now. For assignment, input is in program, output is in terminal window. And then in function argument, input in main function, that is function argument, and output in terminal window. And then command line, same thing, main function, input and output in terminal window. But see, again in input statement, input in terminal window, output in terminal window. In scanner, input in terminal window, output in terminal window. In this way we are getting all these things. And in last, if you have any doubt, you can consult me, you can send any messages in WhatsApp also, in YouTube also. You can directly contact me if you have any doubts. And in last, thanks for watching.